Welcome again, everybody, to another edition of Papa Bojo's Kitchen. Well, it's fall and it's the cold and flu season. And to us, we usually think of homemade chicken noodle soup to help ease the cold or flu. If you do some research, you'll find out that this soup, hot and sour soup, is the Asian remedy for a cold and flu. And it's also one of my favorites too. Don't let the number of ingredients intimidate you. It actually is very simple to make. And we're going to need to go through the ingredients pretty quick because there's so many of them. First off, you're going to need about 10 cups of liquid. And it's a mixture. You can use a mixture of chicken broth, all chicken broth and water, all water, whatever you want. That's that. You're going to need about 8 mushrooms, 6 green onions cut into pieces. You can julienne the white parts of if you want, but I usually slice them in about 1/2-inch pieces. 1 carrot julienne. We've got, where do we start? 2 teaspoons of chili pepper sauce. You can get that in your market in the international aisle. I've got 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I've got 1/4 cup of miso paste. I've got 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 2 eggs that we're going to take and scramble up a little bit. I'll show you that later. We've got about, let's say about 1/4 cup of cilantro diced up. We've got 1 chicken breast, and you want your chicken breast to be mostly frozen when you slice it, and slice it real thin. I mean, a 1/16 of an inch, because they'll cook up real quick and it's much better in the soup that way. And you do that raw. I've got about, I'd say it's a cup of bamboo shoots, a cup of sliced water chestnuts, about a cup and a half of bean sprouts. I've got 1/2 of a block of firm white tofu cut up into pieces that are about, that big or so. And we got 3/4 of a cup of rice wine vinegar, 3/4 of a cup of soy sauce. We've got 2 inches, of fresh ginger, peeled and diced up. We've got 6 cloves of garlic diced. We've got 1/4 cup of sriracha sauce, and we've got about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. That's a lot of ingredients, but if you do the prep time, you'll see how fast this comes together. So let's get going and let's make this great soup. So the first thing we're doing is we're going to add the olive oil to an already preheated pan, and we're going to make sure that this oil is mixed all around so the surface is covered. Then we're going to drop in our garlic, our ginger, and our red pepper flakes. And we're going to stir this around, making sure that we don't burn the garlic. When the garlic looks like it's starting to brown, we're going to add our chili paste, and we're going to stir this. Be careful because that pepper will get in your eyes. After it settles down, we're going to add in our water, and we're going to add in our chicken broth. But you're adding in all of the liquid at this point, and you're going to stir it around. Now you're going to add in your miso paste, and you're going to whisk that in real good. After you've whisked in the miso paste, you're going to add in your soy sauce, your white rice wine vinegar, and the sriracha sauce. And you're going to stir this in. Next, you're going to add in your mushrooms, your green onions, and your carrots. And of course, stir. Next, you add in your bamboo shoots, your water chestnuts, and your bean sprouts, and thoroughly stir. Thoroughly stir. Now you add in your raw chicken, and you want to give this a good stir. And now you're going to bring this to a boil and you're going to simmer for 10 minutes. When you see the first bubbles of the boil starting, add in your cilantro and stir it in. Once it comes to a complete boil, you're going to turn the heat down and you're going to let it simmer for 10 minutes. While you're letting it simmer, or at this point, is also when you add in the tofu. You don't want to boil up the tofu too much. After simmering for 10 minutes, you're going to mix your cornstarch in with water to make a little bit of a thin slurry. And then you're going to slowly stir it in. And you're going to let this simmer again for another 5 minutes. The final step is you're going to turn the heat off. After this is simmered for 5 minutes, you're going to take your egg that you've scrambled. You're going to take your spoon and you're going to get this going in a circle. And what you're going to do is while this is going in a circle, you're going to slowly drizzle that egg. And you're going to make ribbons of egg in there. Let it sit for about 5 minutes, and your hot and sour soup is ready. So that's it. That's all there is to making a great hot and sour soup. And like I said, this is great for the cold and flu season. I'm going to make myself a bowl right now. This is good and hearty. You can see all of the egg and that tofu, and you look at all the protein that's in here, and the spices and the garlic and the ginger. That's what makes this such a good remedy for the cold and flu season. There you have it. I'll bring a picture. Hopefully you can get a good look at this. Obviously I'll take some pictures so you can see it closer. So I hope you give this a try. This is really, really a great soup. It's really a hearty soup. It's spicy, but it really clears your sinuses, and it's just great even if you don't really need to use it for medicinal purposes. It's just a great hot and sour soup. So I want to thank you all again for joining me on another edition of Papa Bojo's Kitchen. I hope to see you again. Buon appetito. Goodbye, everybody.